Take Your Thinking to a Whole New Place is a fresh new marketing campaign that's been unveiled here at IMEX by Business Events Australia. But to gain the political advocacy from state and national governments alike, Australia has to continually prove the economic, the environmental, and equally importantly, the community benefits that can be delivered by the meetings industry. I caught up with Joyce DiMascio, who explains all.
We believe that the business events community at large globally, but particularly in Australia, it's very important to start to dial up those social levers in order to give our industry greater gravitas and connection with those funding partners at a government level. Because for governments, communities matter. For governments, communities vote. And therefore, as we through our business events hosted all around Australia, it's really important going forward that we begin to really dial up the storytelling about the contribution that we make to the community, the contribution that we make socially to the host community.
And are there any benefits to the client or the end user, for example, the association meeting planner or the corporation?
Well, there can be, provided that these social benefits are embedded in the design of the event. There are many associations that are holding events all around the world for whom their bid criteria includes leaving some kind of community legacy. Our job as destinations and venues and meeting planners is to understand the client's need in that regard and to deliver, as part of our bid, an opportunity to leave a community impact, a community contribution that will outlast the actual meeting.
You know, Australia is very strong in the area of corporate social responsibility, and I know that for many of you it's a little difficult to comprehend that, how can you be a responsible destination when you have to fly such a long way to get there?
Rodney Harricks, the tyranny, as they say, of the distance must present challenges with regard to CSR and the carbon footprint associated with that distance.
It is, but also when you look at, some of the announcements last night in terms of the new venues in Melbourne that have been built, in terms of its 6-star green rating, I think this is a good reflection in terms of the way in which the destination is basically adapting to help that offsetting. So I think that's an important position when you actually, again, look at the whole prospect of what an Australian proposition means.
That's all very well, but are your CSR credentials enough to convince corporates to take that trip that far?
It is, but when you actually look at the proposition and what Australia does in terms of a program, if you look at Australia from an aspirational point of view, from an innovation point of view, Australia comes through as a very powerful proposition when you're talking about a meeting or an incentive or a convention, and that is a big draw. We know from research what Australia does to people. When they go there, the way in which they look at things, they actually feel differently, and that's what Australia does, both from a leisure and from a business travel point of view. Australia will transform the way you think.
What's going to happen in the next 12 months is very, very exciting. It's going to be underpinned by 2 very specific programs. One which we've launched, and that's the new corporate meeting and incentive campaign, Take Your Thinking to a Whole New Place. The objective of this rather imaginative campaign is really to cut through the clutter of the destination marketing messages that are out there.
Going forward, my challenge to the industry is to do what we've done in the green space. So Australia has an outstanding record of achievement in the area of corporate social responsibility, particularly as it relates to environment. We have done a major audit in this area. Our operators deliver global best practice standard that has indeed even been recognised here at this show. This global best practice in environment, we'd like to now begin to extend into global best practice in community, because fundamentally the advocacy agenda for the business events community and business events industry that relies on the public purse for funding, we have to dial up the social levers, because this is what matters politically.
You're going to be implementing some of these strategies at Dreamtime, perchance?
You'll just have to wait and see. Dreamtime will be a really outstanding opportunity for our operators in Australia, our host destination city, and the 5 other host locations for educationals around the community and around the country to really put their best community foot forward, but most importantly their best environmental foot forward. So it's going to be an exciting dream time, and we'll be certainly embracing in the very design of that incentive experience the core principles of being responsible and leaving a lasting legacy for our host communities, and as well for the delegates who visit our shores.
Joyce DiMascio, thank you very much.
Thank you, James.
Every day, we take a little inspiration into the air. Inspiration direct from the heart of modern Arabia. New heights of comfort, service, and luxury for all. And those little touches that make every flight special. But no matter where in the world we fly, nothing beats the feeling of coming home. Etihad Airways, from Abu Dhabi to the world.